Hello everyone, TLSG here, back again with another Daily Marvel Snap video. So about 3 months ago, I posted a deck very similar to this, and then leader got changed and it dropped off because that was a big piece of that flexibility. However, with the leader change being reverted and changed again, and with the Sandman being changed in between that last video and this one, the frustratingly flexible deck is back. This is one of the decks that I had the hardest time matching into for the longest time. You can never really pinpoint exactly what the deck wants to do on the last turn of the game. So sometimes we're going to use a leader into an Odin. Sometimes we're going to do a Doctor Doom. We have Magneto to pull your cards around. Arrow, if Sandman is down, is going to yank your card in your last turn play into a location where you don't necessarily want it. And just overall, we have a lot of options and ways to approach the game that we can very easily assess whether we have a good chance of winning or whether we need to retreat. And so with the change to leader, this deck is back, and it is very potent. But this deck feels like it is going to be very, very scary. I think this has a chance of being one of the top tier decks. It's going to have to compete with maybe other Doom waves, maybe other Hawk decks. I think Hawk is poised to do pretty decently, but I think this might have an edge over that deck. And so overall, the list wants to ramp into an early Sandman. If you don't have Sandman in hand and you identify that your opponent is running a deck that wants to play several things in a particular turn, so it's like leading up into a big explosive last turn play, then we're going to Hail Mary Jubilee onto the board. Sometimes we'll pull Odin and then get a second card to thin our deck even further, further increasing our chance of pulling Sandman on that next turn. And just overall, we can get a good value card almost every single time. The worst possible outcome that we can get from Jubilee is maybe a Lizard, maybe Electro, but honestly, we probably want Electro to be able to drop a 6 cost on turn 5. And so overall, the deck is back. It feels incredible. And with the recent changes, it feels like the meta is kind of up in the air. And that is always where I enjoy playing the most, because if you can get an edge, if you find something that works well before everybody else, you have a chance to gain a lot of cubes very, very quickly. Before we jump over into any games, I'd like to introduce today's video sponsor, Hero Wars. You know what I love most about MMOs? It's the thrill of battling through dungeons and bosses with different parties, strategies, synergies. You can approach whatever challenge you're facing with different strategies in mind to be best equipped to overcome them. You get to assemble your own squad and take down the big bad monsters together. And it's amazing. And the best part? The next time you run it, you can switch up your party entirely and have totally different battle experiences. Plus, you can also score some incredible loot from the bosses. And striving for that new piece of equipment, that's what I'm here for. But you know what's even cooler? I found a game where you don't just control one character. You get to build and command your own epic parties to storm through dungeons and crush the competition. Trust me, Hero Wars is the real deal. It's the ultimate adventure, and you're gonna love it. Hero Wars offers a huge range of different heroes to choose from, each with their own unique abilities and playstyles. The battles are intense and require strategic thinking to come out on top, which always keeps me on my toes. In addition, the game has a strong social component as well, allowing players to team up with others and compete against each other in various modes. The developers are also constantly updating the game with new content, keeping things feeling fresh and exciting for players. Overall, Hero Wars is a fun and addictive game that has something for everybody. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot. Where can you get 30,000 coins, 600 emeralds, and 5 awesome heroes to start dominating in Hero Wars right away? It's too slow. The answer is in the link in the description below. Play Hero Wars now. All right, first up we have, I don't know. I don't know if that's a face or if it's an upside down A, but I don't know exactly what it stands for. The first location is Elysium, so we get a reduction in our card cost. Sandman could give us that flexibility to really push a lot of stuff onto the board before everything comes down. So they could potentially have Galactus. We got hit with a Galactus that I didn't see coming. I thought it was a bot, and then we lost to Galactus, so we know that is back on the menu as well. Let's go ahead and do Wave and then Ebony Maw. We'll be able to play whatever card we want next turn, whether that be Doctor Doom, Leader. We'll kind of see from there. Mr. Negative, wow. Mr. Negative is not It's strange that they snapped. I guess because they were able to play it onto the board on... They were able to play it early. We can do arrow. We can eventually hit that with an Odin, I think. And I think we'll see pretty good use. Wow, so they magic. Okay, I'm starting to see why they snapped. Like, I'm seeing the bigger picture. They dropped Mr. Negative on 2. They had magic for 3. Just a beautiful play overall. Fortunately for us, though, we do draw Sandman, so they're not going to be able to burst all of their 0 cost or low cost cards onto the board, whether that be a leader or whatever it is in whatever it ends up needing or wanting to be. The Iron Man in Muir Island is a little bit difficult to overcome, but I wouldn't say impossible. Let's play... We have initiative, so if they play a Mystique to copy the Iron Man, we're going to copy the abilityless one. So we're going to go ahead and play Dr. Doom instead of leader. I think we'll lean on leader a little bit later on. I'm thinking that they probably will have a tough time getting enough power onto the board now that they're restricted with Sandman. Okay, so they do feed into Muir Island. Ooh, Null is interesting. Maybe a Killmonger destroys our Ebony Maw? Do they have an Arnim Zola? They drop Arnim Zola here. I guess it's not great, is it? I'm going to go ahead and Magneto. We're going to... That feels so bad, because then a Shang-Chi could really swing that location for him. I'm going to Magneto in the right lane. I have a feeling that they're going to Arnim Zola. For some reason, my gut is telling me Arnim Zola, but I guess my gut was wrong. My gut is terrible. Mystique. Now comes the Mystique to copy the Null, which is big. Ooh, okay. I mean, this isn't terrible, is it? A Shang-Chi here is big, though. A Shang-Chi here takes out this 13. It gives them 13 extra here. But that's their only play. So then their total is 18 here. This is 16. We beat them in mid. If Shang-Chi is what they end up going with, which I think is I think makes the most sense. Okay, we do get the retreat. With the Sandman disruption, the Sandman, even though they had their ideal line, we were able to hold it down. They weren't able to flood like they would typically want on that last turn. And so we will take the 2 cubes. Let's go ahead and jump over into the next one. All right, next up we have Juno, and the first location is the Vault. They play a Hood, so they could be playing Junk. Junk, it could be Bounce, could be a Valkyrie deck. There's several things that this could be. I guess we'll see. Okay, so it is a Junk deck. Let's see if we can overcome this. Okay, Killing in the right lane, Vault in the left. That's kind of wild. We do have Dr. Doom, maybe eventually an Odin, but it's just that's a lot of spatial restriction. I think maybe we hide our Dr. Doom in the Dark Dimension, and then on the last turn we have the Dr. Doom and Odin to send 10 and 10 as like that surprise play. We could also maybe do a leader, but I think this is going to be better. I mean, we could have dropped Sandman too if we thought they were really going to lean in heavily on... if we thought they were going to lean in heavily on like the Junk version, so like Sentry, I guess, is off the table now. That's fine. Cosmo's here, so we don't have to worry about Cosmo anymore. I almost think we just invest all into mid. We have the Dr. Doom, the Arrow, and then the Odin, because they're not going to be able to do anything with blocking our own reveals. I think 10 to the left, 10 to the right should be more than enough to find a way to win. It's either that or we do something like Arrow this turn, Arrow over to the left. But let's stack it into mid. We're kind of at a loss. Like, neither of us are really showing our hand too much here. So let's go ahead and slap down the second Odin. Or the second Dr. Doom, the Odin to re-trigger the Dr. Doom. And then Arrow is just there for flair, for points in mid to help us contest in that location. But if they don't have something that can go wide... Oh, the Juggernaut is... Juggernaut's, I guess, substantial? The Ronin is big. The Valkyrie is wild. What a surprising last turn play. But the Dr. Doom is going to allow us to win both left and right. So, wait. No, we lose. Did we win? We won by 1 point, right? They won mid by 12. We won right by 13. Absolutely wild. We're going to go ahead and jump into the next one. All right. Next up, we have Iron Man. And Iron Man always runs Thanos. I believe he had a black and white Thanos at a certain point. And I'm still blown away with how many people we see running Thanos still. Because the Lockjaw rotation, that's off the table, which was a lot of ways to cheat a lot of like absurd power out on the board early. And so it's curious. It's curiouser and curiouser. Yeah. That's not great. It's not great. But we're gonna... Wow, what a beautiful Daredevil. We're gonna play the Ebony Maw to the left. It's not huge, but it is what it is. So the Daredevil means it could be like a Valkyrie. It could be a control heavy one that runs like Professor X, Valkyrie, Devil Dino, just some really overall in general very strong cards. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and wave in the right lane, and we'll go from there. Maybe that we leader on 4. I don't know. We'll see. It depends on what they play here. Because they snapped into it. So whatever it is, they're confident. Okay, so the Mind Stone. What do they play in mid? They play the Hood in mid. Wow. I mean, that's pretty big. Do we ever Odin the Wave to restrict them even further? My worry with leader is that we end up clogging in this location a bit too much, especially with us not being able to play for mid very well. Let's try the Odin, or let's try the leader. Maybe we get something big like a oh, wow. Wow, they took their one play and they dropped a Time Stone. What is this? Oh, wild. Wild, wild. All right, so they have 6 energy here. No, they have 5 energy. Ooh. They have 6 energy. We have 6 energy as well. What if we did Odin to re-trigger the wave on the last turn? We can hit them with an arrow in the bar with no name to move whatever they play on that last turn. I think that's what we're going to try. We're also going to re-trigger the Time Stone here. Not that it matters, but we will re-trigger Wave, Leader, and Time Stone. They will see that we're playing Odin before we play it. But we'll see. I'm not sure what version of Thanos Iron Man is running. So that's the one thing with the game change and the balance update is I don't know what deck lands where. We have a completely open meta. Like Shuri, I haven't seen once. Okay, so they do play in the right lane, which makes sense with the leader. So Wave, do they beat what we have in the Daily Bugle right now? They don't. Oh, that's huge. We should just win, right? They play for the Daily Bugle. We just yank it over into bar with no name. Unless they... Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom would win them left and right, even with the arrow play. Maybe that's what they go with? I don't know. We'll see. Let's yank it over out of Daily Bugle. We're hoping that it's just some big power play. It is the demon, and so we do win left, we win right. They still win mid, but we yanked it out of that location so that we were able to flexibly find that way to win. I love how heads up you have to play with this deck is you have to anticipate what your opponent is thinking and what they're going to do to position yourself in the best way possible to win. And so we will take the 4 cubes. Let's go ahead and jump over into the next one. All right, next up we have meh. I don't know why I got such a good chuckle out of that. The first location is the hub. So we get 0. We're not going to put that to use. Ooh, wait, they lose Sandman. We lose Odin. So it's probably a... Ooh, that's what I was going to say is unless we draw our Ebony Maw, in which case, I mean, let's lean all the way in. And I'm actually going to split them. So that if we happen to get a Dr. Doom and an Odin... No, we can't do Odin. So... Well, it is what it is. So they lost their Sandman, but they played Angela. Interesting. All right, so Pet Mansion is going to make all of our cards be played over here. The Angela tells me that this is probably, I don't know what this is. Some kind of maybe flood deck that wants to lean in on Sandman on the last couple of turns. But we're gonna Sandman them. Because I do think they're gonna try to flood here. Wait, no, the Sandman that they got rid of must have come from the hub. They didn't have Sandman at all. They juked us. The Nova tells me they have a Killmonger, which is one of the downsides of Nova. Anytime you play it, the opponent knows that you have some way to destroy it, and most commonly that's going to be Killmonger. Let's go ahead and throw our Sandman onto the board. They're going to have to stick with 1 card per turn, so the Sentinel loses value, the Hit Monkey loses value. Everything else in their deck loses an immense amount of value. And we have the extra energy, so we're going to be able to do Dr. Doom. We won't have Odin to lean in on, unfortunately, but we could do Leader on the last turn. Either that or Arrow. It really depends on what they play. Odin getting discarded was really unfortunate. They lost a resource that they didn't even want. We lost a resource that is very, very, very vital in the flexibility of this list. Whoa, so they use an Enchantress on the Sandman, which is devastating. Wow. I mean, that's huge. They have 5 cards in hand. Like, how many can they realistically drop here? Quite a few, right? Well, oh no. So they're gonna have a Mysterio, Hit Monkey, and then something else. I don't think we win mid. Our highest power play is Arrow into the hub or just Chavez into the hub. But X-Mansion, I think, is likely that they hit us there. We could always try for a Hail Mary for Magneto with Jubilee. That seems risky too. I'm going to hope that the last card that they play into X-Mansion, that we can yank it out. Yeah, the Enchantress there was huge. Whoa, they don't even play for X-Mansion. What? So they dropped the Hit Monkey in the hub? No way. So it's Sentinel, Scarlet Witch, and then Hit Monkey in the left lane, right? It is. Wow. Which is not going to be over the 13. Wild. They could have pushed that into X-Mansion. We would have yanked it over with the Arrow anyways. But I think their better play line would have been to play it maybe a couple cards here and then just 1 card here. We will absolutely take the 4 cubes. Let's go ahead. We didn't deserve the cubes there. That one was more of a misplay on their end. I'm in full belief of, but we will absolutely take it. Let's jump over into the next one. All right, guys, we are on the struggle bus. Between the last match that was showcased and this one, I had a meeting for work in between, so I muted this mic just in case. And when I came back, I sat down, I started recording, but only I didn't start recording. And then I got through the end. I had a point that I really wanted to share with you guys that I was really excited to showcase, and I forgot to hit record. And so then the following game, I made sure to hit record, but, little but here, but the mic was still muted, and so then it was no longer viable. So I'm just going to talk through the intricacy here with you guys. So with the most recent change to Leader, Chavez, and Jubilee, that changed the consistency. So if we had Jubilee here, the main point of this deck, not necessarily in this matchup, but the main point of this deck in general is that certain decks we want to have Sandman on the board because that is going to be our best chance to find a way to win. And so if we had Jubilee, previously Chavez would only be drawn on turn 6, but if it would have been pulled previously, then the game just skipped to the next card in line. And so it had a chance always to draw Chavez. Chavez has been changed to where her text reads that she starts at the bottom of your deck, and Jubilee now reads that she pulls the top card from your deck to that location. And so now you can guarantee that, let's say we use her here, we only have 3 potential outcomes. We have Sandman, we have Lizard, and we have Odin. This thins our chances and really helps mitigate what cards are potentially able to be pulled at any given time. And so it increases our odds or chances quite a bit. Do we do Dr. Doom here? Let's do Dr. Doom. They may do Leader, but if they do Leader, then that fills up this location. No, they do Dr. Doom as well. Okay. It's kind of scary. Let's see. We can't play in we can't play in Pet Mansion. We can't play in the Big House. They can. What if we did Leader here? Leader brings us to almost a tie. They could leader in the left lane, though, which would bring them to a tie. If they do Odin, then we're going to copy their Odin. We could try Magneto, but then they could win this one. Let's go ahead, and we're going to try the leader play. We're going to try the leader and hope that they use an Odin in mid. Oh, and so then they're going to send a Doombot to the left and right. We're going to send a Doombot to the left and the right. But our winning condition in the left lane, we were ahead by 2 previously. And so even though we're down by 1 in mid, we win the left by 2, so we can still pull it out just ever so slightly. And with that one, that is where we're going to go ahead and end the video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a like and a comment down below. And once again, I would like to thank today's video sponsor, Hero Wars, for sponsoring this video.